Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from theuptrend.com. Let's start off this morning with a little housekeeping. We are going to take next week off, and so we'll be working a normal week this week, including a video on Sunday, and then next week our offices will be closed, and we won't be posting any charts or videos next week. We will be back on the weekend to do a complete site update and a weekend video. So just a heads up, we are going to be taking some time off. Now, in the pre-market this morning, stock index futures are trading above fair value. So are commodities, with Bitcoin pulling back slightly. We are coming up to month end. Month end, of course, has a bullish bias to it. And so we are expecting a lot of downward pressure here. But of course, the Fed meeting is tomorrow, and who knows what could happen from that meeting. Today, we've got consumer confidence and a jobs report coming out at 10 a.m. So nothing in the pre-market to disturb the market. Now, there are a couple of stocks trading higher in the pre-market this morning on earnings. That's Boeing and Celestica are both trading higher in the pre-market. Looking at the VIX is still on a sell signal. That's supportive for higher stock prices. That would change on Tuesday if we closed above 1671. So far, it doesn't look like we're going in that direction. Looking at the major index ETF, starting off with the iShares for the TSX 60, we pulled back ever so slightly yesterday. The big winner was the energy sector, and what didn't work, materials, communication services, and real estate, where the sector is trading lower. And so there's the energy sector continuing to move higher. There is materials, including, of course, gold stocks are within the materials sector. There's the telecom sector and real estate, all three pulling back on Monday. Looking at the U.S. market, we saw a small pullback in the S&P 500 yesterday. What worked? Well, the same thing. Energy stocks were the big winners, while it was real estate, materials, and utilities were the big losers. So there's the energy sector moving up yesterday. Not a big gain, but it was the big winner. There's real estate pulling back. We saw materials pull back, and we saw utilities pull back on Monday. Now, let's move on to the world of commodities, starting off with copper. Copper was down sharply yesterday, did not close below the lower channel line for the futures contract or for the ETF. Copper miners, on the other hand, did roll over. Now, when we look at the panic zone chart, the easy money, of course, is made off the bottom of the panic zones where a pressure zone has formed. That's the easy money. It's much harder to make money up at the top of the panic zones because you've got a lot of people trying to lock in profits. At the same time, there's a lot of people that have been attracted because of the recent success of, in this case, the copper sector. You have that confusion up here where people are trying to get in and trying to get out at the same time. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it is certainly not easy money trying to get in at the top of the panic zones. Looking at the gold sector, we've got gold futures contract and the GLD both on sell signals right now. For the GDX, we're still waiting for a close below 52.13, and we may or may not see that on Tuesday. The junior gold miners have already left the building. They're on a sell signal right now, while the TSX gold sector is still on a buy signal, so not expecting a change on Tuesday. Looking at the world of silver, we've got the silver futures contract and the SLV ETF both back on sell signals. We've got the silver miners back on sell signals, and we've got the junior silver miners back on sell signals as of Monday's close. Let's finish off this morning's presentation, taking a look at the world of energy and looking at the futures contract. We are back on a buy signal as of Monday's close. Now, crude oil has been in a range for the last 6 weeks, and so we're looking to break out of that range. We've got the USO future, ETF back on a buy signal as of Monday's close. Again, it's been in a range for the last 6 weeks, and we are looking for a breakout of that range, and that would certainly help us head back up to the recent highs. Looking at gasoline, we've got gasoline back on a buy signal as of Monday's close. Unfortunately, natural gas, both the ETF and the futures contract, made a new low for this move on Monday. Now, looking at energy stocks, as we mentioned earlier, it was the energy sector that led the TSX yesterday. It was also energy stocks in the U.S. that were the big winners on the S&P 500. Looking at small cap energy stocks, they've been on a buy signal for a few days now. We've also had the oil and gas equipment makers also on a buy signal for the last few days. And now we've got the oil and gas explorers back on a buy signal as of Monday's close. The big winner in the U.S. energy sector was Diamondback on Monday, and the big winner on the TSX was Baytech. Now, Baytech traded above the June high, but it looks like we closed right at the June high, so hopefully we can continue to move higher on Tuesday. Okay, folks, that's all for this morning's presentation. We are looking for a higher open on Tuesday morning and probably pretty steady trading between now and when the Fed announcement happens at 2 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. Have a great day. Stay cool. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Wednesday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.